All right, this is Epictetus, the complete works. This is going to be part 20. So I'll no longer exist. You won't exist, but something else will, which the universe needs at that moment. After all, you too were born, not at a time of your choosing, but when the universe needed you. That's why a truly good person who remembers who he is, where he's come from, and by whom he was created, focuses his attention on one thing alone: how he may occupy his station in a disciplined manner in obedience with God. Do you still want me? I shall remain free and honorable, as you intended me to be, because you created me to be, in myself unimpeded. And now you have no further need of me? All right. No one else but you has been responsible for me being here up until now. And now, in obedience to you, I take my leave. And what is your disposition as you leave? Again, as you intended me to be, as a free man, as your servant, as one who's hearkened to your command and prohibitions. But as long as I linger here in service, how do you want me to be? A senator or a private citizen? A foot soldier or a general? A teacher or the head of the household? Whatever post you entrust me with, and whatever rank, I shall die 10,000 times. As Socrates says before abandoning it. And where would you like me to be? Rome's, Athens, Thebes, Gyra? All I ask is that you are mindful of me there. If you send me somewhere a life in accord with nature is not humanly possible, I shall depart. Not out of obedience to you, but on the assumption that you're giving me the signal to retreat. I'm not leaving you as if that were possible, but I see that you have no need of me. However, if life in accord with nature is possible for me, I shan't go looking for any other place other than where I am, or people other than those that I'm with. Keep these ideas at hand night and day. Write them down, read them, talk them over with yourself and with a friend. Can you help me in this regard? Then go on to someone else and someone else again. And then if something happens that in general held you to be undesirable, the first result will be that you gain immediate relief because the event won't take you by surprise. In every situation you see, I knew my son was mortal, is an important reminder. That's why you'll say, along with, I know I was mortal. I know I was likely to travel abroad. I knew I was liable to banishment. I knew I might be hauled off to prison. And then if you reflect by yourself and try to find the place from where the events originated in no time at all, you'll remember that it's one of those things that aren't subject to will and aren't mine. So what is it to me? And then when your imagination plagues you, which is something that isn't up to you, fight back with your reason, wrestle it down. Don't let it prevail or advance to your next stage, that of some word, everything it would like to happening just as it would like. If you're in Gyra, don't imagine how things are in Rome and all the pleasant aspects of life there that you'd enjoy if you ever got back. No, since Gyra is where you've been posted, be strong and live in Gyra as someone living in Gyra should. And if you're in Rome, don't imagine life in Athens, but apply yourself only to life where you are. Then instead of all those other pleasures, introduce the pleasures that come from the awareness that you're obeying God, that you're in actual fact, not just notionally doing what a truly good person should do. And what a pleasure it is to be able to say to oneself, I'm now putting into practice the apparently strange ideas that others solemnly talk about in the schools. It's my virtues that they sit there and expound. It's me they research. It's me they praise. Zeus wanted me to have full proof of all of this, in my own person. He wanted to be sure that I was the right kind of soldier and citizen. He wanted to present me to the rest of the world to testify about things that aren't subject to will. See that your fears are groundless and your cravings futile. Don't look for what's good for you outside of yourself. Look for it inside yourself. Otherwise, you won't find it. It's for this that Zeus at one time brings me here, and at another sends me elsewhere. He puts me on display, and someone who isn't wealthy, has no political power, and isn't in good health. He packs me off to Gyra, or throws me into prison. It isn't because he hates me. Perish that thought. Does anyone hate his best servant? Nor is it because he's neglecting me, seeing that he doesn't neglect even the least of his creatures. He's training me and using me to testify to everyone. When I've been assigned such an important task, how can I care any more where I am or who I'm with or what people say about me? Am I not focused with all of my being on God, on his instructions and his commands? If you have these thoughts constantly at hand, if you rehearse them to yourself and make them readily available, you'll never need consolation or encouragement. What's disgraceful isn't not having enough to eat, but not being rational enough to be free of fear and distress. But once you've acquired immunity to distress and fear, will any tyrant, guardsman, or courtier of Caesar's exist for you? When you've been given such an important position by Zeus, will you be hurt by anyone else's appointment or by those who sacrifice on the Capitol to take these auspices? You don't flaunt your position or boast about it, but demonstrate your caliber by actions. And if no one notices, let it be enough that you're healthy and happy yourself. I think that's a good point to stop for this video.